Was it just me, or did this feel like the longest January ever? Wait, you guys feel that way too? I wonder why that is. Oh, I know, because each and every one of us was waiting for the triumphant return of the Co-op Monthly for 2023. I need it! That's right, it's back and it's better than ever, but let's pause for a second, in case this is your first Co-op Monthly. First off, we're happy to have you. Feel free to grab a seat, sit back, and relax as we tell you about the co-op games that came out last month, what co-op games are coming out in the next month, and any co-op news in between. That's right, it's the Co-op Monthly, your one-stop shop for all the news in the industry we can find. Let's get to it.
As we mentioned last month, January is rarely a big month for games, but we do have a couple titles to round up here, starting with Rainworld Downpour. The original game didn't do so hot with critics, but was loved by fans, and this expansion is giving the people more of what they want. For $15 US, you'll gain access to 5 new Slugcat characters, yes, that's what these are called, 3 new modes, and notably a local co-op mode for up to 4 players. The expansion is currently sitting at a very positive review score on Steam, which is kind of impressive considering it launched on the 19th and already has 450 reviews. If you're one of those Slugcat fanatics, looks like your 2023 is off to a great start. So the premise for this game is kind of insane. In Shoulders of Giants, you control a gun-toting animal on top of a giant sword-wielding robot, hence the very literal title. This is a sci-fi roguelike game you can play in 2 different co-op modes. The first mode has one player controlling the animal character, while the other controls the robot, which sounds very interesting to me. The other is your typical 4-player online co-op mode. Shoulders of Giants released on the 26th for current-gen Xbox consoles as well as the Epic Store. God is a Geek gave it an 8.5, and here's what they had to say about it. Shoulders of Giants is an action-packed game with plenty of progression hooks and variety to keep you coming back for more. Weapons and abilities on offer is truly impressive, and the upgrades you unlock always feel so tangible and rewarding. Happy to see more co-op roguelikes out there. After all the fun we've had with Ember Knights, I think we found our next lunch stream game right here. Superfuse launched onto early access on the 31st, right before this video went live, so there aren't many scores to discuss just yet. If you haven't heard of it, this is basically if someone made a Diablo-like game about the Boys TV show. It features 4-player online co-op where you get to make your very own superhero in a dark comic book story. We'll come back to this one next month, but what I can tell you is we're super excited to play it, and we'll be streaming it as soon as it launches. Look forward to an impressions video from us coming real soon. February is always a big month for the industry as it marks the beginning of review season, which basically means a ton of games are coming out. But there's something else in that February air. That's right, it's love. With Valentine's Day coming up, you'll be hard-pressed to find a better game to play with that special someone than Blanc. In a beautiful hand-on art style, you and your partner control a fawn and wolf cub stranded in a snowy wilderness. You'll have to work together to solve puzzles to ensure that each one survives the storm. Blanc looks adorable, honestly, and it is primed to be quite the emotional journey when it comes out on February 14th for PC and Nintendo Switch. February 17th is a big day for your boys as it marks the release of the long-awaited Wild Hearts. This is our first big co-op release of the year, and we couldn't be more excited for it. For the unaware, Wild Hearts is a Monster Hunter-like game produced by EA and Koei Tecmo. It'll feature 3-player co-op online with crossplay supported across all platforms including PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. This is more than just a simple clone though. For one, the art style looks amazing, and one of the big highlights is the use of ancient tech called karakuri. This mechanic lets you set up turrets, harpoons, and all manner of tools on the fly while you're on your hunt. Jury's still out if it'll truly compete with Monster Hunter, but we're hopeful this will be a co-op hit regardless. Just mere days after Wild Hearts, we'll get the release of Sons of the Forest on the 23rd. Told you guys, this is review season. Hard to say which game we're more excited about, but personally, I'm kinda leaning on Sons of the Forest. The Forest was a great survival game with so much potential, and from all the previews we've seen of this sequel, it already looks like a big leap forward. A couple improvements to highlight here are, the map is 3 times as big, Enemy AI has been significantly improved, and the new companion mechanics look amazing. Sons of the Forest will feature 3-player online co-op and will be released exclusively on PC. 8 years after the original Kerbal Space Program launch, we are finally getting a sequel. I never played the first game, but I know from our good friend Garrett that it was a great game. And I guess I can take the 1,000+ positive reviews on Steam as a good sign of that too. Kerbal Space Program 2 looks to level up every aspect of the spaceflight simulator with interstellar travel, colonies, and the long-requested addition of online co-op among a slew of other features. If you've been waiting for this, your watch is nearly over as Kerbal Space Program 2 launches onto early access on February 24th, exclusively on PC. If you loved last year's Kirby and the Forgotten Lands and you're hungry for more Kirby games, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe might be for you. This is a remaster of the original Wii game now coming to the Nintendo Switch. It obviously won't be as good as Forgotten Lands, this is a very different game from that one, but it does feature 4-player local co-op. The original game was charming, if a bit too easy, so we think this makes it a perfect game for a parent and child to play or among younger siblings. If that sounds right up your alley, you won't have to wait long as Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe will be out on February 24th.
A couple of Co-op Bros favorites got some next-gen touch-ups and ports, starting with Monster Hunter Rise. It supports 4K 60fps, 3D audio, Instagram filters for whatever reason, event quests, DLC, and by golly, it's even on Game Pass. Look, if we've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times. Play Monster Hunter Rise, you won't regret it, and now there's even less of an excuse not to. It got ported on January 20th. The other next-gen update we want to mention was for World War Z Aftermath's Horde Mode Extra Large, if only because it's kind of hilarious. Still wondering why you had to spend twice the asking price for a PS5 from that sketchy eBay scalper? Well, to fit more zombies on the screen at the same time than ever before. In all seriousness, we really liked this title when it first released back in 2019, and they plan on continuing to update it, so we'll keep you updated in turn. One last quick update to one of the games on our resume. We Were Here Forever got ported to consoles last month on the 31st. If you and a friend love a tough puzzle game, we would recommend it, even though it was a bit much for us. We could still appreciate its setting and atmosphere, so if this footage looks interesting to you, and again, you definitely don't mind difficult puzzles, grab it on both previous and next-gen PlayStation and Xbox consoles. After years not being able to make the comeback we all wanted it to make, Marvel's Avengers is ending development. The game's last update will come on March 31st, and then the content well will run dry. You'll still be able to play the game in both single player and multiplayer, and here's a friendly reminder that the game is still on Game Pass. Gabe and I never checked this out. Despite praise for the single-player campaign, there were tons of complaints overall about progression. I guess people really just couldn't stomach those Hulk spine upgrades after all. Looking ahead to one of our most anticipated titles now, we got a leaked image of the menu screen in Suicide Squad that has us a little bit worried. It shows off a battle pass and a storefront, not exactly what we wanted to see in the leak. I mean, do we need to rewind and talk about how Marvel's Avengers went? For now, we're still looking forward to this because sources have confirmed it's only for skins, and that's fine by us, but it's certainly something to be aware of. Rocksteady, please don't do us dirty. Time to talk release dates, and it feels overdue to finally put a release date on Endless Dungeon. It's coming on May 18th, and we have waited a while to hear about this one. This is an isometric twin-stick shooter with some light tower defense mechanics. Art style looks really solid, gameplay looks intense, and you'll be playing it in local and online 3-player co-op. It's expected to be out on all the consoles, including Switch, so mark it down in your calendars. During Xbox's showcase, we got a look at the PvEVP mode for Minecraft Legends, an upcoming action strategy title for babies, and I'm not gonna lie, it showed really well in that presentation. Keep in mind the game also features a co-op campaign mode, and for once in my life, I'm kinda interested in a Minecraft game. The release date is April 18th, it will come day one to Game Pass, so if you've never dug the action strategy genre before, maybe this can be your first. We also got a release date for Redfall, May 2nd. The gameplay shown emphasized all the open world mechanics, with different activities defined throughout its vampire-filled Boston City. I really felt like we needed some more hand-holdy gameplay. I'm still not sure what to think of this title. Our holding pattern for Redfall still stands. Considered us interested, but trepidatiously. Good news is it's going to be on Game Pass, so easy for you and a group of 4 to hop in and try it out. The one new game announcement we want to highlight was Aloft, a co-op survival title not coming until 2024, but what they've shown here looks promising. From what I can tell in the trailer, you and a group of friends are exploring the skies on giant rocks that you can turn into ships, where you'll fly through hostile rocks you have to clear out in order to then use the resources. And there's this amazing looking glider, sign me up for that. Again, it's going to be a minute till we can really get a hold of this, but there is a demo out on Steam right now, if this looks interesting to you and your friends. Sometimes people don't like change. It's a new year, and that can be frightening.
Oh my god!
So let's end the show with a piece of news that'll comfort all who like traditions to stay strong by mentioning that Skull and Bones is delayed. Again, this isn't even a bit anymore. So yeah, Ubisoft is basically falling apart and has pushed Skull and Bones' March release date back to just sometime later in 2023. Will we ever be able to captain a fleet of ships together over the dark seas of the Caribbean? Does anybody even want to play that one part of Black Flag for more than 10 hours? Clearly Ubisoft doesn't have an answer for us, so we'll just leave the show at that.
At least we thought that was the last news story here, but... Right as we were finishing this edition of the monthly, we got news that several assets from the rumored Horizon multiplayer game had leaked. We saw the footage, and while it's pretty rough alpha kind of stuff, there is a good amount that can be gleaned from it all. For one, this game will be sporting a more stylized look opposed to the hyper-real look of the mainline games. It's been compared to a Fortnite look, and yeah, I can see that. We're kinda into it honestly, and from the rough footage, it fits well with the rest of the world. But perhaps more importantly, it appears that this game will be a co-op Monster Hunter-like game opposed to the MMORPG that may still be in development, but crucially will be a whole different project. That's a huge win for us since we've been dreaming of a co-op Horizon game ever since we both played Zero Dawn. Hopefully we see a formal reveal sometime this year. And that's the Co-op Monthly. Thanks for watching. If you want to support us, please consider subscribing or following us on our socials for more co-op content. You can also check out our merch store and shop our retro-inspired collection, including some cool tees, a tote bag, and even some stickers. We also recently launched our official Discord server, so come join us and chat about all things co-op and more. You can find the link for all of that down below. We're super excited to continue this series this year and really appreciate your support. Thanks again, we'll catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.